life is going smoothly, then the bottom falls out. Everything is coming up roses, then the bottom falls out. That life starts going your way finally, then the bottom falls out.
And when we begin to understand and know that, accepting that reality that we will never ever have things just on an even keel all the time, that you're going to have some ups and you're going to have some downs. But during those down moments, that's where the growth takes place. That's where the work is.
You worked on a job 35 years and now you're laid off. You planned for life to work a certain way and then the bottom falls out. You're looking for this and God sends that. That even though you love God does not mean that the bottom will not fall out.
You might be going through a season, since darkness is the absence of a thing. You might be going through a season of the absence of a thing that you legitimately need, but it ain't over.
You have to be awfully immature to think that every day is going to be a good day. Some days are better than other days. And some days, if it ain't one thing, it's another.
One of the things that we know about life is that it is always changing. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go real well, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're happy, and sometimes you're sad. Now that's that thing called life.
You may have to function for a while without the absence of the thing you adore. But it's not over. It's just that God has created the treasures of darkness. And in order to create the treasures of darkness, he has to take away light so that he can incubate what he's about to do in your life.
And I'm going to tell you right now, it won't be easy. It will be hard because life is hard. That's what life is. And these challenges, they're going to do their best to take you down. Do not let them. Stand up, dig in.
In the end, we are only as strong as the adversity that we overcome. The pain of the adversity will eventually subside, but the lesson will always remain. And that lesson will strengthen you to endure your next battle, this time stronger and wiser than before.
Line up those problems and confront them. Face them. Do not let them bring you down. In fact, let those challenges raise you up. Let them elevate you.
What do you do when you tried and failed and you want to quit and you want to give up? Because trying again means hurting again, means risking again, means believing again, means hoping again. Sometimes you can be blessed and be unhappy because even though things are going right, they're not going according to what you had believed and expected, and you know that something is missing out of your life. What do you do when something is missing out of your life and the things that replaced it do not compensate for what you lost?
I've always been told how average I can be. Always been criticized about being average. But I want to tell you something. I stand here before you, not listening to those words, but telling myself every single day to shoot for the stars, to be the best that I can be. Good enough isn't good enough if it can be better, and better isn't good enough if it can be best.
Turn your wounds into wisdom. You will be wounded many times in your life. You'll make mistakes. Some people will call them failures. But I have learned that failure is really God's way of saying, excuse me, you're moving in the wrong direction.
Other than death, all failure is psychological. Other than death, all failure is psychological. Think about that. If you aren't dead, then it's just psychological. Does not mean that you won't lose some battles, because you will. We all will. But it does mean that as long as you don't surrender, as long as you don't give up, as long as you don't quit, then you haven't failed. It just means you've made a temporary tactical retreat, a brief withdrawal, so that you can regroup and reattack. If you get beat, unless you're dead, you are not defeated. And you have not failed. What you've done is you've learned. You've gained experience. And you're still alive. So get up and go get after it.
We all live in this bubble. What you got to do to get the life that God wants you to have, you got to put more air in your bubble. You got to blow your bubble up. Expand yourself. Take yourself out your comfort zone. Put some more air in your bubble. If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it and you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up, being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere, when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit. So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly. If you don't love it, you're going to fail. So you got to love it. You got to have passion.
If you think ordinary's cool, ain't no problem. It's some really wonderful ordinary people. But if you are sitting in this room and you have extraordinary aspirations, then you're going to have to do extra. You put extra on top of ordinary and you come up with extraordinary. It's no other way. But here's the fact. All of you have extraordinary capabilities. All of you. You have to decide if you are willing to do the things to put you in that category. Rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. That's a third of your life. He who loves to sleep and the folding of hands, poverty will set upon you like a thief in the night.
You don't have to live worried, focused on the problems, wondering why it happened. You know a secret. You have favor in the storm. You know what was meant for harm, he's turning to your advantage. Here's the key. The enemy wouldn't be fighting you if you weren't a threat. Oh, get ready. Favor is about to turn things around. Favor is about to catapult you to a new level. Favor is not going to keep you from the storm, but favor will bring you out of the storm. We don't understand everything that happens. Sometimes life is not fair, but you have to trust that God knows what he's doing.
This thing called life. You just don't know what the next moment will bring. But here's what I do know, and I want you to know. You have comeback power. When something happens to you, don't buy into what has happened to you. Buy into, I'm getting up out of here. I'm going to change this situation. This does not work for me, and I don't have the luxury of being depressed and angry. I need to clear my head. This is no time to do something stupid, like hurt yourself. No.
So get serious about your goals, business goals, financial independence goals, family goals. I mean, there's so many things to work on this. But if you don't get busy and work on it, sure enough, the time will pass. And sure enough, 5 years from now, you'll wind up where you don't want to be, wearing what you don't want to wear, driving what you don't want to drive, being what you don't want to be. Now's the time to fix it. Your goals are affecting you, whatever they are. Your goals affect your attitude, personality. All day long, we're being affected by our goals.
You got to clear your head so that the decision that you make represents the best in you. People who don't stop to clear their heads, they react. They don't respond. Be still and know that you're going to get through this. You're going to get through this. And you don't want to be radical. You don't want to be erratic. Just be still and know I'm going to get through this. You got to assure yourself. You have to encourage yourself. You have to clear your mind.
Your better future is a dream. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to see? You've got to dream dreams. Without dreams and visions, people perish. You've got to have something to go for. Take the crumbs from starving soldiers, they won't die. Take the bread from hungry children, they won't cry. But without dreams, we all will die. You've got to dream. Don't lose your dreams. Becoming something unique on your journey here, don't lose your dream. That's long-range goals. Got to have those. Because if you set up something short-range, go for it, get it, latch onto it, work hard, accomplish it. That starts building your strong feelings to go for your dreams. Economics plays a major role in everybody's life, which means it ought to be meticulously well planned for tomorrow.
An area of life that matters clearly to all of us is time. And most people have very little mastery of this. I don't mean checking things off your list. I'm meaning squeezing out of your life what matters to you most. Your career, where is it now? And where are you financially compared to where you want to be? And especially with some of the changes that have happened in the economies around the world. And then finally, where are you in your level of sense of meaning, of contribution, and your sense of celebration in life? These are the areas that really matter most. Sit down and define what this looks like for you today. And invariably what we find out is almost everybody has some gaps. Gaps between where you are and where you want to be. And even if you've done incredibly well, I mean, I deal with some of the most successful people in the world, they're usually still happy in their life because they're hungry. They haven't lost that drive that says, look, what makes me feel alive is to know I'm growing. You know, if my life's going to get better, I got to get better. I can't just hope it. And if my life is going to be rich emotionally, it's got to be expanding. And they know that. If you work your tail off at work to take care of your family and be the best at what you can do, if your career's going really well, isn't that the nature of human beings?
To me, successful is getting to the point where you are absolutely comfortable with yourself. It does not matter how many things you have acquired. The ability to learn to say no and not to feel guilty about it, to me, is about the greatest success I have achieved. The fact that I have, in the public side, done whatever, it's all a part of a process for growing for me. But to me, to have the kind of internal strength and internal courage it takes to say, no, I will not let you treat me this way, is what success is all about. I will not be treated this way. I demand only the best for myself.
We tend to focus on things we feel confident in, we know what to do in, and the other stuff we kind of hope it all comes together and try not to think about it too much, but it all affects us. You got to start with what it is you really, truly want now. You got to start with that end in mind. And then once you understand there is a gap between where you are and where you want to be, here's all we do. We believe that the most powerful way to change anything is total immersion.
Listen, man, like I told all my kids have a college education. I told them all, I don't care what you get a degree in. Until you follow your dream and connect it to your gift, you'll never be happy. You should go and live your dream. God puts your real life in your imagination. That's where your real life ain't in your present circumstance. Your real life is not in your paycheck. Everything you imagine is a preview to a coming attraction. Once you understand that and quit looking at your imagination as hocus pocus, it opens up a wide range of things and possibilities. Listen to me. This is serious what I'm telling you. Everything that's in your imagination is a preview of a coming attraction. That's why when you tell your imagination to the wrong people, it don't go nowhere. You ever had something you thought was a brilliant idea? and you took it in there to your family and your loved ones and they shot it down, because God didn't put it in their imagination. He put it in your imagination. If you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. I walked in that house, man, and told everybody I was quitting my job to go be a comedian. Everybody in that house shot that down. All my friends shot it down. My brothers and sisters shot it down. You can't make no money telling no jokes like that. Who you think you are? If I had listened to them, I wouldn't even be here today. You know how many people I done been in front of? I done told jokes in front of 44,000 people before. But if I had listened to my mother, if I had listened to her, I wouldn't have quit my job. All my brothers, everybody told me, you can't go be no comedian. I left anyway. Everybody in my neighborhood called me a fool. I send planes, pick all of them up, take them to shows. All of them. All of them. You gotta chase that dream before you die, man.
I do not believe that any of us have dreams that were not given to us for the purpose of accomplishing those particular dreams. I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream. But here's what I know, that it's possible.
Don't you give up on your dream. I don't care if you don't have the money, you don't have the help, and you don't have the family for it, and you don't have the friends for it. Don't you give up on your dream. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. It may take you twice as long. You might not read as fast, you might not move as quick, you might not have as much, but don't you quit. Don't you quit. You do make a difference. As weak as you are, as tired as you are, as many mistakes as you made, you do make a difference.
Life has a way of pushing our dreams down. They can become buried under discouragement. There are dreams buried under divorce, buried under low self-esteem. It's easy to settle for mediocrity, even though we have all this potential. On the inside. Your dream may be buried. The good news is it's still alive. It's not too late to see it come to pass. Life happens, but instead of remembering the hurt, the pain, what didn't work out, the key is you have to remember your dream. Remember what God promised you. The scripture calls it the secret petitions of our heart. It may seem impossible. Every voice tells you it's not going to happen, but God is saying, what I promised you, I'm still going to do. If you'll do your part and start believing again, God is going to resurrect what you thought was dead. You tried, it didn't work out, it's been so long, they're going to suddenly come back to life. What should have taken years, God's going to do in a fraction of the time. He hasn't changed His mind. He has the final say. You may not understand why a business didn't make it, why you came down with an illness. You were doing the right thing, but the wrong thing happened. It's all a part of the process. It's not just a setback, it's a setup for God to get you to where you're supposed to be. It may look impossible. All it takes is one touch of God's favor. What has God put in your heart? What did you used to be excited about? Now you think it's been too long. You don't think you could write the book, see a marriage restored, start the business. No, get your passion back. People can't stop you. Bad breaks, disappointments, loss. The Most High God is on your side. That if He be for you, who dare be against you? We don't have to fall apart. God controls the whole universe. But you have to do your part and keep your faith stirred up. The enemy would love to deceive you into burying your dream. Don't believe those lies. It's not too late to become all that you were created to be. That dream that's been buried is going to come back to life. This is what allows God to do great things. God is moved by our faith. He's not moved by our discouragement. Joel, I'm never going to meet the right person. I've been hurt too many times. You're remembering the wrong thing. Turn it around. Start remembering your dream. Father, thank you that you have a divine connection coming my way. Somebody perfect for me, better than I ever imagined. Get your shovel and start digging that dream out. It starts in our thinking, in what you're believing, in what you're saying. No more, it's never going to happen. I'll never live in a nice house. I'll never finish college. No, I'm surrounded by God's favor. Because I delight myself in the Lord, God, you promised you would give me the desires of my heart. Whatever God's put on the inside, no matter how impossible it looks, I'm asking you to stir it up. You may need to get alone. In your quiet time, search your heart. Say, God, don't let me die with any dreams still buried on the inside. Have you allowed any dreams to get buried in you? At one time, you believed you could do something great. It's been a long time. Had some bad breaks. You could easily settle where you are. Nobody would fault you. God sent me to light a new fire on the inside. That dream is still alive. Go back and try again. This is your time. Your destiny is calling out to you. You can't have a weak, defeated, give up spirit. I don't want to put forth the effort. If you don't stir it up, you can miss who you were created to be. I saw a report about this man. He was raised in a very dysfunctional environment. His father was not a part of his life. His mother was never around. From the time he was a little boy, he had a dream to become a writer. At 15, he dropped out of school. He was so embarrassed by it, he started drinking, trying to numb the pain. One day, something rose up in him like fire on the inside. He told his buddies, this is the last time you will ever see me take another drink of alcohol. I am fed up living like this. He never touched it again. 51 years old, he... back to school and learned how to write. He started writing poetry. He was very eloquent, very talented. At one point, he entered this very prestigious national writing contest and he won the grand prize, first place. 75, he continues writing, inspiring others that it's never too late to accomplish your dreams. What you gave up on, God didn't give up on. It's still in you. I believe there are some dreams shut up in you. Like fire, you're going to feel your destiny calling out. May not have happened the first time. The medical report wasn't good. That's okay. This is a new day. What God started, He's going to finish. He's going to give you another chance. You may have lost years because somebody else put you at a disadvantage. God knows how to make up for it. He's still going to get you to where you're supposed to be. This is what happened to Joseph in the scripture. God gave him a dream that one day he would rule a nation. He saw his brothers bowing down before him. Joseph should have used more wisdom and not told his brothers that part of the dream. Some people can't handle what God's put in you. One day Joseph went to see his 10 brothers. When he walked up, one of them said sarcastically, "Here comes the dreamer." They were upset because he had a dream. They would have been fine if he was content to be average. But when you stir up what God's put on the inside, believe that you can overcome that illness, pay your house off, let me warn you, everybody will not celebrate you. When you have a dream, you're going to have some detractors. Say things like, "You really think you can get that promotion? You don't have the experience, the talent. I don't think so. You really think you're still going to get married? You're getting kind of old." Let that go in one ear and out the other. The detractors, they cannot stop your dream. They may do something that puts you at a disadvantage, but God knows how to take what's meant for harm and use it for your good.